Okay, I get carried away. I don't know if I've done 2 videos on these already, so forgive me. I have. Okay, on the exposed tension cable end. Alright, but this is for the condensing unit. Let's just kind of start from top to bottom. We do not have a rain diverter that keeps the water from crashing down on the condensing unit. We do not have, this is our main electric service disconnect. Okay, got a nice picture there, see how it's laced up. This disconnect should be sealed on 3 sides to help prevent moisture from getting up into the wall system, our porous brick wall system. There we go. Same thing for the electric meter. It should be sealed on 3 sides. The grounding rod should have been completely buried. Okay, so but this is the condensing unit. So what do we got? We do not have a rain diverter. We do not have electric receptacle outlet service, so you'd have to go into the garage and horse an extension cord out if you wanted to electrically braze or to use a vacuum pump or any mechanicals, electrical mechanicals on the system. You'd have to find power out of the window or whatever. When this home was built, it wasn't required to have one of those receptacle outlets out here, but on the newer homes we do have that. Speaking of not required when the home was built, or when the unit was built, since 2015 this insulation is not approved. Okay, obsolete because it does this. Also, since 2015, we'd have anti-theft Schrader valve caps. Look that up in the dictionary. Refrigerant service valve port caps, anti-theft ones. Now this is a little more interesting. I know this is grandfathered in, updating whatever, but the compromising isn't. And look at here. See that? You know where that oil comes from? That oil comes from a refrigerant. We've got a refrigerant leak here. I'm having a little trouble ascertaining because this is telling me it's R10A refrigerant. That's the good stuff. It hasn't been around. I'm on the serial number. I'm looking. It says that this guy's like 30 years old. This house isn't even 30 years old. I got manufactured over here 2012. That would make it about 10 years old. So between 10 and 30 years, I don't know. I'm going to pull this number up on the Google search and see what I can find. It is a 4-ton system. It was 410. Okay. Now the size of the circuit breakers that are required for this lead me to believe that it might be a little older. So what do we learn? We learned that we don't have a rain diverter. We learned that our disconnect is not sealed. We learned that we have obsolete insulation, our low pressure refrigerant line. We learned that our insulation on our low pressure refrigerant line is compromised. We learned that we have a refrigerant leak. We learned that we do not have anti-theft Schrader valve caps. We learned that we're not really sure about what the age is, but it is 410A. It is the better refrigerant. So if it's 10 years old or 30 years old, or whatever age it is, just know that this equipment is engineered on paper to last 20 years. And it might last 30 years. But Las Vegas is going to give you 14, so if this is a 10-year-old system, you've got a few more years left in it. But just a few, I mean, it might last 30, like I said, and I hope it does. But my system is a lot older than 17 years. A lot older than 14 is like 7. I think it's 18 years old. I installed it new, and I'm going to run it till the wheels run off. But you're buying into this. I don't see how this system could be less than 10 years old. And just know that.